Hi everyone, this is Debbie from Project 39 Mini Album, and I have another project that I made with the Bloom Where You're Planted paper collection from Country Craft Creations. I am making a series of things you can use in your craft room to stay organized. Now, one thing that I use in my craft room is, this is a new one, but the one I used I made myself, and I use it to put little snippets of paper in so I can find them easy. So I might have like a strip of paper, and I'll put that on one. I'll have the smaller pieces I'll put in the back. The front I usually save for cut apart so I can find them easy. Now, bigger pieces of paper, I have other systems, other things that I use. So I don't put the bigger pieces of paper in here. This is just for small pieces, definitely maybe 5 inches or smaller, taller. It might be 12 inches wide, like this border strip is 12 inches wide, but that's okay because I can see this all at a glance when I'm looking for things to match, a page I'm working on or whatever. These I'll go through every once in a while just to see what I have in there. But I find this invaluable to help me stay organized when I'm doing my mini album making. So I want to show you how I made this, and don't forget this is part of a series. I have other projects that will be desk organizers and would make great gifts for Mother's Day as well, or something you can make for yourself. So once again, I used the fabulous Bloom Where You're Planted paper collection, and now let's get started with the project. Okay, so for this project you'll need your normal paper crafting supplies, a paper trimmer, scoreboard, bone folder, adhesive, and I'm using art glitter glue. And then for the paper I am using again the Country Craft Creations Bloom Where You're Planted. You'll have seen it already. So let me start with the chipboard. You will need one piece 2.5 by 6, one piece 2 by 6, one 1.5 by 6, and one 3/4 by 6. For the spacers, you'll need two 1.5 by 6 and one 1 by 6. And also for the base, you'll need 4 1/8 by 6. This is cut out of black chipboard. I had gotten the shipment in after I cut everything out, and then I had changed the measurement, so I went with the black chipboard as a base. Although I didn't have the black chipboard when I cut these out, I did take a marker and black the top and sides. You can't see, but take my word for it. I just took a marker and made the top and sides black. You'll also need 8 pieces of cardstock, 1 inch by 6, scored at 1/2 inch. I've already scored it and burnished it. I didn't miter the corners on this. I don't think we need to. I might change my mind later. As far as the pattern paper, you'll need 2 of this column, the same size except for about a 1/16 of an inch smaller. So instead of it being in 2.5, it would be 2 7/16. So just a little bit smaller, just to accommodate for the width of the chipboard. And you'll need 2 of those. You'll need exactly the size to cover it. So if it's 1 by 6, I just cut it 1.5 by 6, just cut it 1.5 by 6. Cut 2 of them 1.5 by 6 and 1 by 6. And then we'll add more to the underside and if we need to add it elsewhere. So let's get started. All right, so we're starting with, there's the light, the 2.5 inch by 6 and 1.5 by 6 spacer. So what I am going to do is add a bead of glue at the very bottom on the facing, on the top, the bottom but the front piece. A bead of glue on that, and we are going to take this and just butt this up to our base. And then we're going to take the spacer. The chipboard absorbs the glue, and so it works pretty quickly to help it stand up. I'm going to take the spacer, and this is going to go, actually I'll add a little bit of glue on this edge. And this is going to go right up to the back. So just keep pushing it until the glue dries. And then we're going to take 2 of these 1 by 6 inch piece, and I'm going to put glue. It's folded into a V. I'm going to put glue on both sides of the inside there. And that's going to go on the back just to help cement that all together. And then this other one, so that's the V, we're turning it upside down. I guess I shouldn't have used black because it really doesn't show that well. And it's going to go on the outside of the V. And that's going to go right here. So it'll go right there. I'm taking my bone folder and I'm going to push that up against the edge. I'll take my flat bone folder and burnish that real well. I'll turn this on its side and burnish that. So there we go with that first piece. Now we'll take the next one, which is 2 by 6, and add glue. We'll just put it right here in that crevice next to the spacer and push this right up against there. And grab the next spacer, which is 1.5 by 6. I'm going to add glue here. So it's just right next to that 2 by 6, and take this spacer and push all that glue in. And just push that up as much as you can. And then we're going to add 1 strip on this side and 1 on that side. So we have the top looking like a mountain. And put glue there. And then put that in this back area. Push it up against the side and down to the bottom. Gets hard to burnish the further on you go. Just do the best you can. Okay, add another one. And this will go in the front. See how easy this is? Now I noticed this wasn't standing up straight, so correct it if you need to. Whoops, and this is not. Okay, so we've gotten those two. Now let's take the next one, which is the 1.5 by 6, and that of course is going to go there in front of the spacer. Adding the glue, pushing it, and it'll stay down nicely. Add the other spacer. Now you can change the measurements if you want it taller or not as wide or whatever. You can change that. So now this one should go right to the end of our other piece of chipboard. It's pretty close. Mine is not exact. I'm not going to worry about it. And then we'll grab 2 more of these. Want to go in the back. And I want to go in the front. And the longer, well, after the glue cures, it gets even stronger if you're using the art glitter glue. So I'll push that down. Burnish, burnish there. Okay, now our last piece goes in the front. So we just add some glue along the bottom. Not the very bottom, the bottom of the front. Does that make sense? And before I put that on, I'm going to get one of these pieces ready. So we're going to put the glue in the V. And I will put that down like that. Get this ready. Put this right up against it, and then push that 1 by 6 inch piece. Make sure it's even. And there we go with that one. And use your bone folder to push it up against the chipboard. You can turn it on its side here. And then add one more piece to the inside. Got to do it this way. It wasn't on straight. And there we go. That is the base construction of our paper sorter. Now all we need to do is add our pattern paper. I'm going to go ahead and do that in fast motion. Now before I go any further, so as I'm putting it on, I realize that the pieces that I cut are not all going to fit. So I'm just going to simply mark it and trim it down and put it on and it'll fit. I didn't take into account all the layers of the chipboard. I'm going to put the spacers down first, or to cover the spacers, because if we need to fold it, then we'll cover it with the other paper. And we also need a piece for the bottom. So that is, again, 6 by 4 1/4. Now, I might just use some blue cardstock. I think that's what I'm going to do. I don't want to waste this pretty pattern paper. Oh, the sun's coming in. So I am all done with it. I just put the papers on, made sure that they were burnished. A lot of it I had to just burnish with my hands because there was no way to get into some of these areas, but that's fine. And again, I covered the bottom with some blue. You could probably put little stoppers on the bottom if you wanted to, as little feet. I would not put claw feet on here because it would sort of get in the way of the sides. And that is it. That is what I have for you today. Don't forget to check out the other videos in this series on organization for your craft room using the Bloom Where You're Planted paper collection. And that's what I have for you today. Thanks so much for watching. Have a fabulous day.